Hello and welcome to this session. This is Professor Farhat, in which we will discuss the trust fund recovery penalty. So what are first the trust fund taxes? What's a trust fund? Well, when you get paid the net amount. What does that mean? It means from your paycheck. So if you are paid, if your gross pay is $5,000, certain taxes will be deducted from your paycheck and you might receive net $3,800. So it looks something like this. If you notice, this individual, they have medical deduction, dental deduction, federal income taxes. We're looking at taxes, Social Security tax, Medicare tax, California state tax, total taxes withheld 768. So the individual, when they receive, the gross amount is 3,496, but they might have other deduction. Some of these deduction are taxes. And what happened is the employer, the company, is required to withhold this money from you, but that is your money. So basically, they are a custodian of this money. They are holding this money in a trust. You know, your federal income tax, Social Security tax, Medicare. Since we are dealing with federal government, those are the three taxes that the federal government wants from your paycheck. Basically, those three: the federal, the Social Security, and Medicare. Those three. Now, these amounts do not belong to the employer. They belong to the employee, but their job is to take it on behalf of the government. So the employer is simply holding them in a trust. Now, it doesn't have to be a trust in quote. It means they have, the best is to put them in a separate bank account until they are paid to the IRS. Now, keep in mind, the business would withhold state taxes. They would withhold medical, dental, vision, 401k from your paycheck, union dues, and they will send that money to the appropriate party. But when we're dealing with the federal government, with Uncle Sam, you have to be very careful, because Uncle Sam wants their money. And this is why we have a penalty in case you don't submit this money. Think of it this way. You are a temporary, you means the employer is a temporary custodian, not the owner of the money. Therefore, if you don't send it, you will be subject to a penalty. And this is what we will discuss in this session, the trust fund recovery penalty. Let's go ahead and get started. Before we proceed any further, I have a public announcement about my company, farhatlectures.com. You are here because you are serious about mastering taxation. Whether you are taking a tax course, studying for the CPA exam, or enrolled agent, tax feels overwhelming, not because it's impossible, but because it's dense, detailed, and often taught at a pace that doesn't match the way you learn. The rules can feel disconnected, and the logic isn't always explained clearly. At Farhat Lectures, we slow it down. We explain the why behind the rules, break concept into simple steps, and rebuild your understanding from the ground up without assuming any prior knowledge. When explanation matches your learning, everything changes. The confusion fades, the rules start to connect, and tax becomes manageable. If you are ready to understand tax with clarity and confidence, start your free trial at farhatlectures.com and let's build your tax foundation together. So what is the TFRP? Well, it's a penalty imposed when the employers fail to remit payroll taxes, and the IRS identifies the individual responsible for that failure. Simply put, someone at the company, it doesn't have to be the owner, but someone at the company knows that we need to send this money, and they failed to do that. But how much is the penalty? The penalty equal to 100% of the unpaid trust fund taxes. This is why we call it also the 100% penalty. It means, guess what? You failed to send the $20,000, $30,000, you are responsible for a penalty for that amount. It's pretty stiff of 100% penalty. So who could be held responsible for this, held liable? Well, there's a responsible person test. The IRS does not limit the liability to the business entity. What does that mean? It means people working there can be individually responsible. And this is getting very serious, because the responsible person is someone who has the authority over the financial decision and control over tax compliance. Who could be those people in the company? Obviously, the business owners could be the CEO, the CFO, controllers, or accountant. Could be bookkeeper if they have check signing authority, if they know they need to send this.
So anyone who decides which bill gets paid and refuses to pay them, knowing that they're supposed to pay them, and they should know they need to pay them. So it doesn't have to be the owner or the owners. It could be top management. It could be anyone, even the bookkeeper, if that's their responsibility. No matter what the title is, authority and control do, who's responsible. So the two requirements to assess the penalty, the IRS must prove responsibility. Simply put, the individual who was responsible for collecting, accounting, and paying the payroll taxes, and they have to show their willingness. The individual knew or should have known taxes were unpaid. And come on, if you're an accountant, you would need to know that that money is not ours. That money will need to be sent to the IRS. Even if you're a bookkeeper, you would know about this. Nothing against bookkeeper, but even what I'm trying to say is, if you're a bookkeeper and your responsibility is to make this payment, I'm pretty sure you know your responsibilities and you chose not to pay it. Of course, this is when you are responsible. You are responsible and you are willful. Now, what does willfulness really mean? It does not require fraud or bad intent. You could be doing so to save the company. That doesn't help. It simply means that the person was aware of the unpaid taxes and intentionally choose not to use the fund, use them somewhere else. Simply put, you took this money, you know it's not the company money. You know you're holding this as a custodian for the employees, and this is the government money, you're supposed to send it. So example of willingness, basically paying vendors instead of the IRS. Well, or paying rent, suppliers, while the taxes remain unpaid because you need this money, you're short on cash. So simply put, you're stealing. It's a form of theft. You are stealing the employees' money, the employees' taxes, to operate your business. So trying to save the business can still be considered willful. So if you tell the IRS, look, we had to make that decision, otherwise, we're gonna go under. It doesn't help. So the critical IRS logic is what? The IRS apply a very strict principle. Once you know payroll taxes are unpaid, every dollar spent somewhere else is a willful decision. It's as simple as that. And personal liability risk is to make sure you take this issue extremely seriously. They want you to be personally responsible, not just the business. Now, obviously, the business would not be on good terms with the IRS, but you as a person working there, knowing you are responsible, in this way, you don't want to make that decision. You want to raise some red flag if this is happening. So the IRS can collect from personal bank accounts, wages, property. This means even if the business fails, the individual remain liable. So you have to know what you are doing, and especially when it comes to payroll taxes. I mean, you most likely you are studying for the AA exam. On Farhat Lectures, we do have a payroll course if you want to be a little bit more involved with payroll. I strongly suggest you take it. But anyway, what should you do now? Whether you are studying for the EA, the CPA, CMA, any type of exam or professional certification or a course, go to Farhat Lectures and look at additional resources, multiple choice exercises, additional resources to help invest in yourself, because that's the best investment you can make. No one can take that away from you. Don't shortchange yourself, and God bless.